Namaste. I, Neha Tangsare, Secretary of the Science and Spirituality Forum, would like to welcome you to this special episode of our podcast series, Samvad. As we all know, we started the first and new podcast series in MIT-WPU University. Today, we have a very special guest with us, a prominent Indian educationist, philosopher, thinker, and proponent of world peace. A person who is deeply rooted in promoting values that reflect both scientific wisdom and modern educational principles. Let us welcome the founder-president of Myers MIT-WPU University, Pune, UNESCO chairholder for peace, democracy, and human rights, revered Professor Dr. Vishwadharmi Karad Sir. Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Considering your lifelong mission for world peace, could you kindly share your insights on the concept of world peace and its significance in today's global context?
My learned friends and the new generation of this 24th century, I am grateful to all of you first that on the occasion of this very important and historic day of the UN International Day of Peace or World Peace, we have been trying to discuss and understand, really speaking, our duty and our role and whatever little mission which MIT World Peace University has chosen almost for the last 45 years. I am especially glad to speak a few words, whatever I have understood about what peace stands for, what science stands for, and what spirituality stands for. Basically, as you are aware that you are mostly the students of various branches like engineering, management, medical, and all other allied sciences, the IT, the computer, Google, Facebook, cloud networking, so many new words of new insight and vision of understanding the entire mechanism of the universe has been the real goal. And I am very glad, especially that being a student of engineering and later on for some years being a teacher of engineering, that too especially mechanical engineering. Friends, I don't claim that I have understood everything, but at least the very essence and philosophy of what science stands for and spirituality stands for. Our education system itself, which has been devised by the very great learned thinkers, philosophers, and the great scholars and scientists of the world. But as you can see, friends, today, that today we are facing a very, very different situation altogether. The chaos, confusion, bloodshed, massacre, terrorism, and horrifying violence is the present scenario what we see, and especially on this background which you have just experienced for the last 2 years, the new virus, the COVID-19, or the virus which they claim that came out from that Wuhan laboratory, and it gave a tremendous shock to the entire human race and the life itself. You know it very well. When we speak about this COVID, I should not elaborate much, but it has been a fact. But you must also know, friends, that when we are trying to discuss about the peace or culture of peace, or the peace of mind, or of peace, happiness in the family itself or the society, we have got to know the basic situation, what is happening today. Forget the past, but at least what would be the future is the main issue. And especially the organizations like the United Nations or the UNESCO itself, which have been trying to work for promoting the culture of peace through education, because education has been one of the most important aspects of life. And this institution of the MIT World Peace University has been always trying to talk and discuss, deliberate and understand what is the real mechanism, what mechanism makes it all good or bad things. So going back to that, the coronavirus or the COVID-19, you must know, friends, that this corona which came out before 2 years, that virus had come out only with a 20 to 25% of its original strength, horrifying strength of killing people or killing life. Can you imagine that if it would have been a little higher percentage of strength, 30, 40 or 50, you know how many people died in the most advanced countries like America, Italy, Britain, and even India and China. The very China where from it came out. Why I am trying to speak on this issue, it comes to the biological weapons,
Yes, sir.
the chemical weapons, the atomic weapons. So many types of weapons have been produced, and the whole world today is standing on the brink of disaster. You know the situation, the political and otherwise too. And you must know every place, I don't want to make a mention of any name of the nation, but the whole world is under the fear complex. Everyone, if you are having some understanding, and what is the duty of ours, education. Finally, it is the education system which can help you to understand this and understand the mechanism, what I am saying. The life of our own self is like a 4-bar mechanism. The body and the brain and the spirit or the soul and the mind. Where the mind is, we don't know. It is very fickle and very fragile, not a material. But what is the chemistry of mind is the main issue. Nobody uses this word for chemistry of mind. But chemistry has been one very unique subject which we must try to understand. And if you understand the chemistry of mind and the nature of the soul, the law of nature, law of the universe, really speaking, this aspect is called the spiritual aspect. The study of the body and the brain, like a medical doctor or any engineering part of it, it is one aspect of it. But the other aspect which has been called today and understood by the whole world community, the greatest men of science like Schrodinger, Penrose, Einstein, Dr. Einstein, Albert Einstein, Dr. Newton, they have been telling the whole world today, friends, that they have come out with a new vision and they are trying to tell the world, to us, people like us as a teacher, or my friend sitting opposite to me, Milind Patre, and any other teachers, which vice chancellors, deans, professors, or the learned students like you, they have been telling that now the time has come when we should start the schools of consciousness and reality. And what is that reality? What is the ultimate reality? To understand the ultimate truth, but which is called as, the word is God, the ultimate reality. We don't know the nature. We don't understand it. But it has been stated and very well realized by the whole world of sciences, whole world community of different subjects. They have said that the entire universe is a manifestation of pure intelligence and consciousness. And this very word of consciousness, which leads to the ultimate truth and the ultimate reality, is the nature of the entire universe. This is the new vision, new version. And hence, even for this, prior to this, it was called as a blind faith. अध्यात्म शास्त्र की वैज्ञानिक प्रयोगशाला, यहाँ कई जिक्र किया गया है डोम के बारे में. Friends, I am not the builder, I am not the maker. I am just like an instrument. You know it very well that it has no designer, no planner, no architect, and no contractor. Very ordinary masons have built it, and without any plan and architecture, it has come out with some little bit of insight and vision. There are two aspects in life. Understanding, come and see the thing, understand it, observe it, and then experience it. Experience the real nature. And when you will understand the real nature, that is called as the realization. realizing the ultimate truth, ultimate energy which prevents and binds this whole universe together. How it functions, how it runs, is the real part of study what we have been trying to do. But sometime in between, we had always having a very wrong notion that this is all blind faith. That was possibly my understanding. And I think I am glad that whether it is Dr. Albert Einstein or philosopher Sant Jnaneshwar I say it. Like the same way it is also called as a philosopher, scientist, Dr. Albert Einstein, Schrodinger or Penrose, all these names, they indicate a path. And they make you realize and make you understand the nature, the law of nature. And understanding the law of nature and law of your own life, your body mechanism, it's a 4-bar mechanism again. This is a 4-bar mechanism. And ultimately, not to create a disorder is our job. I say, you have heard the word entropy. So entropy is creating a disorder. Creating a disorder in the life of others or in the system will cause a problem. So our education has to really make us understand that don't cause a problem for others. It may cause a problem for yourself. So creating a disorder is a scientific truth again. It's a law of the nature. And the law of nature and law of science is one and the same. It goes in a very unidirectional way and gives you an orderly form of your mechanism. The body mechanism, the spiritual mechanism, the mind mechanism, whether mind is a mechanism, whether mind is a material, so many things can be asked. And I'm very glad that today when we are discussing on this issue, I think we have a very appropriate subject of this very dome. You must know, friends, that as I told you again, I repeat, I never feel that I am the doer, I am the maker, but so many things have happened in life. It's called as the divine destiny. You have been assigned a certain job. I have been assigned a certain job. To be a teacher, I never wanted to be an engineer myself. A person who never wanted to be an engineer becomes an engineer, becomes a teacher, starts MIT, then starts MIT World Peace University, and we meet again. So this whole process, how it proceeds and what is the divine light which shows you the pathway. And this is, I had the fortune of, in the year 1996, for the first time I had organized the first World Parliament of Science, Religion and Philosophy, the first parliament of not only science and religion itself, but it was the philosophy part of it. And since that time we have been trying to be on the path to understand this mechanism and whether I can myself minimize the chaos, confusion, disorder, and this disorder what I have been trying to talk to you, that itself is what is called a spiritual component of life. So we have been having some misunderstanding, and the spiritual aspect was supposed to be a blind faith. I think that has been one aspect of the life journey. I'm grateful to you. If you have any other question.
Sir, an architectural marvel, the World Peace Dome, which stands as the largest dome in the world, how did you envision and manifest this magnificent structure to serve as the global symbol of peace and unity?
I think I have to repeat again the same thing. It is not only the largest dome in the whole world. The more important part is the message.
Yes, sir.
The concept. That is more important. I told you that I am not the claiming that I am the doer. I don't know. Now you are taking interview, not why somebody else is doing it. You have been assigned this duty today, you have that capacity. The question is in the known human history. I repeat, in the known human history for the first time, a dome like this has come up.
Yes, sir.
Interesting part is that you will not believe that I have not gone to a cinema theatre for last 40 years. It's not my greatness. See the divine destiny, what I am telling you. If that Raj Kapoor's Rajbagh would not have come to me, possibly the dome would not have been possible. Who makes it happen? I have not seen Raj Kapoor. But in his will, he writes before his death, he says that this land of 100 acres, if at all it is to be given to somebody or to be sold to somebody, it should be given for education, education and education. See the beauty? When I have not seen a cinema or a theatre for last 40 years, I have not met Raj Kapoor. I never knew her Ram Sarani Kapoor and that his wife and his children, Rishi Kapoor and everybody. But why they met me, how they met me, and with a meager amount of money, why that 100 acres of land came to me? Because the dome was to come. This is called destiny. This is a divine light which shows you the pathway. This is as an engineer I am speaking, not only just like a philosopher or somebody else. But friends, remember, these are some of the events. What is your name?
आर्य
किसने रखा है नाम तुम्हारा?
मेरी
माँ बाप ने. मेरा नाम विश्वनाथ है. मैं अभी विश्वनाथ में, किसने रखा? मेरे माँ बाप ने रखा ना. और कुछ होता तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So all these things, whether you believe it or not, is your job. You have to understand this. But when you go deep and understand all these mechanisms, I am saying, either the Google, the Facebook, computer, IT, cloud networking, these are the words newly come up. They were not heard before 40 years or 50 years. I never knew on computer engineering. I never, because I was studying only equal to MC square. But to this I attached Om equal to E, tending to E equal to MC square. But with an understanding of science part of it, with an understanding of the philosophy part of it. So all these aspects I could understand because I became an engineer and started MIT-WPU University. I come from a very small village. My school used to be in a cow shed. Cows and buffaloes का गोठा जिसको तबेला बोलते हैं वहाँ होता था. झाड़ू मारने का, गोबर निकालने का और फटी हुई गन्ने की बोरी डाल के वो शुरू होता था. और वहाँ से निकल के यहाँ कैसे बैठा भाई? किसने दिखाया रास्ता? तो ध्यान में रखना कि this dome, which is not only the biggest but possibly after 10 years of the service and its nature coming up in this form, with 54 statues, the men of science are outside and men of saintly nature are inside. Philosophers are waiting outside because they look only the outside world, the scientific part of it. But the spiritual component अंदर है, अंदर झांकना है. तो ये सारी बातों का जिक्र इसलिए कर रहा हूँ कि भाई एटलीस्ट नाउ एट दिस एज I have started realizing my own responsibility. What you are asking for peace and promotion of peace. Now in the month of October, we have a very unique event taking place, which is called as whether, I ask the question to myself and to yourself, whether the world will see the end of 21st century. If the horrifying situation what seeing around and the chemical and biological weapons with the higher strength they come out. Now you know that what is going on world over. The floods and the other devastating mechanisms and all the Middle East, even near India, whether it is China, Russia or Ukraine or America, are they under rest? Are they happy? Whether the money has made them happy? You will have to say no. Is दशा और दिशा, क्या दशा है भाई? अपन आराम से बैठे यहाँ वो बात अलग है, लेकिन ऑल दीज आस्पेक्ट्स दे नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द स्पिरिचुअल कंपोनेंट ऑफ लाइफ, ऐसा मेरा मानना है. एंड दैट्स वाई अध्यात्म शास्त्र की वैज्ञानिक प्रयोगशाला और वैल्यू बेस्ड यूनिवर्सल एजुकेशन सिस्टम कहा जाता है, which has to have a component of spiritual aspect and the scientific aspect and philosophical aspect. What is philosophy? Is it not only a play of gymnastics of words? So there is a long discussion on this issue, friends, but on this occasion particularly, we need to understand the essence and philosophy of what science and spirituality stands for, and maybe it can bring to some extent, not that it will be completely done fully, but if the world community and the people around, if you go in a wrong way, a very simple thing nowadays, the new generation going to the pubs and clubs and other places, horrifying places, it creates first in you the disorder, in your body mechanism itself, in your brain. And if the brain doesn't function, the lust, the greed, jealousy, hatred, all these words, to minimize these horrifying things, is the real essential feature of education system itself, which we are calling this as a value-based universal education system, which may to a certain extent show the pathway of peace and harmony. And to my mind, again, I will repeat this, that if we go on the wrong path, I still remember when I had the first conference on 1996, wherein we had the discussion in quest of universal peace was the wording. I have that book still. And now it is not the in quest, but the pathway of peace, pathway of world peace. So possibly it is our duty, the learned people like you and me, and ultimately, of course, I can just say there is a need to understand all these aspects of life, and your duty, what is called as about the religion they speak about. What is religion? Because religion is one thing which is the most beautiful aspect of life. However, it has been only in the name of religion. The worst of the worst chaos and confusion, and the highest bloodshed and massacre has taken place in the name of religion. Even though all religions are true and equal, and religion is nothing but your duty. The duty towards your mother, the father, the family, the society, the nation, and the whole world. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, world as one family. This is all trying to show us the path on this World Peace University, especially. We have been fortunate enough that we could understand each other. I think the pathway is not wrong, that is what is being proved. And the whole world is looking to Mother India with some hope and expectation. But if India has to take a role like a Vishwaguru, you have to be first disciplined. You have to be firstly know and understand. Don't be egoistic. Don't be proud that I am the doer, I am the maker. The maker is somewhere else. Because my maker or your maker is nothing but that invisible force or power or energy. These are some of the understanding aspects. That's why this very conference, whether the world will see the end of 21st century, will possibly give a new dimension, a new divine light and vision of what value-based education stands for.
So, what role do you believe India can play as a rising global power in mediating geopolitical disputes and promoting a more peaceful world order?
I think this is little beyond my understanding. I don't want to become a global power by weapons and machinery or by money. The richest economy, good thing. You can think of those lines, but we have a certain duty as a teacher how to promote this culture of peace. सुख, समाधान और शांति का रास्ता क्या है? ये जो केवस कन्फ्यूजन जो चल रहा है उसको कम करने का रास्ता क्या है? झगड़े कम करने का ये सारे वेपन्स को उड़ा दिया किसी ने, तो as I told you that this earth can be burnt out 1,000 times. You must understand, see the stockpiling of the various weapons. And if rightly or wrongly some foolish ruler, if he plays some wrong act, what will happen to the whole earth? You know it, what is happening all around. And you know the Hiroshima, Nagasaki, that bell has started ringing again. Let me tell you, my feeling is, it's that bell of Hiroshima has started ringing once again, not by some person, automatically, giving us a clarion call to the whole world. What is this? Is Wuhan, or this virus, or the weapons? Let us imagine a chemical weapon, if it explodes, and they have the weapons like this. What will happen to you and me, or every life, whether it is China, Russia, any nation? What will happen? Because there is no, the law is uniform. The law of nature is uniform. It is not different for me or you. Some policemen may have difference between the you people calling each other, but the law of nature is common. It is the same for me, for you, or for any life. A living cell, smallest of the small, the mechanism is same. The body, brain, spirit and the mind, the digestive system, the food system, respiratory system, all are common. Smallest of the small. Smallest of the small, which I can't see. By telescope you may see something, but the mechanism does not change.
Yes, sir.
That is the thing which we have to understand. And if something wrong goes like this, I think it has been a horrifying thing. But let's hope there is someone to show the pathway, and we will try to follow the pathway of peace. Very recently, the Western world and the Eastern world is always a comparison. And meeting the East and the West is another word which is normally spoken. I don't know, but there is a long story behind. But on 25th of April this last year, I was honored as your professor, teacher in Salt Lake City with BYU University, and conferring a PhD was the issue. I was not to go, but I went there, and it's a very unique experience for myself. But do you know why I was honored? Not giving a PhD or Doctor of Letters, or not the main issue. Why Professor Vishwadharmi Karad was honored? Because of this very discussion what you are talking about. The appropriate understanding of the role of science and spirituality, law of nature and law of life. That was the main issue. And this aspect of spiritually oriented scientific laboratory which has been created or which has been established, that was the reason I was honored there. It was not because Professor Karad belonged to a chancellor and vice chancellor. That was not the issue at all. So now this very concept of understanding the science and spiritual component of life, which is the essential feature, I had the fortune of delivering a small brief speech at the very place Fullerton Hall where the Swami Vivekananda spoke 130 years back. And for the first time some Indian was given an opportunity to speak on that very location in that hall, and which has a very wonderful narration that time. You can't imagine about 130 years back an Indian from this country goes and speaks there, and for 3 to 4 years the whole world is appreciating his words of wisdom. But that was the union of science and spirituality, religion alone will help to bring harmony and peace to mankind. But what he has said that time also is very important. We, the Indians, were under the clutches of the British that time. And then Swami Vivekananda tell the whole world and appeals to the Indian community that give me a few men with the muscles of iron and nerves of steel, and I'll change the face of India, my mother India. Not with ego, but with a sense of pride. स्वाभिमान की बात होती है, which is an essential feature of life itself. So we have very unique experiences, and whatever path was chosen initially from philosopher Jnaneshwara to philosopher scientist Einstein, this journey was proved to be the appropriate journey. That's a really very satisfying thing for myself. I have a satisfaction, but still it's not complete. The journey goes on. Pathway of world peace.
So, given your strong emphasis on peace and spirituality, how can spiritual and educational leaders contribute to resolving pressing issues both within and without?
Friends, I don't claim that I am the real expert and a person who can really show the pathway, what you have asked. I am also in the quest of understanding all these aspects. But after whatever little understanding I have, understanding little bit of science and the aspect of spirituality, I have come to certain conclusion. At least I feel that when I was hardly 16 years old when I came to engineering, since that time, because of my family background, because of whatever reasons, the circumstances which have shown me some pathway, I have come to some conclusions, and possibly, again I do not want to claim, I never, and I will request you also, never claim that you are the doer, you are the maker. You are a seeker, that's my personal feeling. To understand this entire system of the Mother Nature, and as philosopher Jnaneshwara said, what I have understood, that is the beauty of my education itself. When I had read, because I used to go to Alandi, so many things have happened. I don't know how it happened, where from it happened, but the rising of the sun in the east and going to the west is an illusion. Before Galileo, 300 years before, this 16 years boy called philosopher Jnaneshwara speaks these words of science and spirituality. That's the most beautiful aspect of it. When he makes a statement again that if you have a churning action in the water, it will create electricity. 745 years back. So likewise, these words of wisdom and these words which have been very scientifically based and deeply rooted in the knowledge system. The entire universe, as it is called also, ये ज्ञान की पूजा है. सारा विश्व ज्ञान स्वरूप है. ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयो ऐसे कहा जाता है. एकम सत विप्रा बहुधा वदंती. Names are different. Ram, Rahim, Jesus, Buddha. You take the names are different. But the ultimate reality, the truth is again the same. It's a knowledge divine. ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयो ऐसा दूसरी भाषा है. These wonderful aspects and the insight of these words, I could understand a little, not fully. You will not believe, friends, that there is a small booklet called Amrutanbhav. Those questions which are yet to be resolved world over, if you can read and understand the essence and philosophy of that Amrutanbhav or Sant Gyaneshwari or Bhagavad Gita, whatever you call, not that it's a Hinduism. It's a Hindavi bhasha hai Bharat ki. That is so wonderful and so revealing, but we called it as very adhyatma hai, andhashraddha hai, aise bola gaya. Isliye we have been lagging behind, and possibly I feel that whatever we have discussed just now is not a wrong path, but it's a right path, possibly which can dissolve and show the path of peace and harmony to the mankind. That's my personal feeling. I don't feel like making any other comments on the aspects what you have been talking, but I'm grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you so
Pranam.
much, sir.
Dhanyavad.